All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Angel Healing Club. We're here for Love is Here and Now, inspiring global healing and community. I'm Patti Skamaka, and we're also here with our co-host this evening, Harold Becker.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here. So just a quick little overview of what we're going to do this evening. We'll be starting with an opening blessing to create some sacred space for our time together. And then I'll introduce myself and Harold. And Harold and I are going to do some sharing with you, our inspirations for global healing and community. And then we'll have some time for experiential. Harold will lead us in an experience, and then the angels and guides will be doing a healing activation for us as we co-create global healing and community in this moment this evening together. I actually have a couple free gifts for you at the end, which I'm excited to share. And if anyone afterwards, after we're complete with our live streaming and recording and all that, if anyone wants to stay on for an extra 10 or 15 minutes, and we'd be happy to answer any questions at that time. So just going to start with a moment of just getting present to this beautiful opportunity to tune into love that is ever present. So taking a breath and a long exhalation, just giving gratitude for this moment. Just ask that this time together be connected with universal love, that this be a spark for the growing of the love in our own hearts and around the planet, that our community of growing love in our hearts and with each other can grow, that this be the planting of seeds that will continue to be nourished in our lives as we go on from today. We ask that all those beings of light that are dedicated to our evolution and love, that we all have with us to gather around us and guide and protect us during this evening together. We ask for this both now and in the future, anytime that this message is received. May each and every person be touched in their heart in some way. May we grow in love together. And so it is. Blessed be. Thank you. So just very delighted that you're all here. I know that each and every one of you is dedicated to love in your own way. And so just honoring you and all that you are and all that you bring. So I'm Patti Skamaka, and I've been a healer and a psychic, a teacher and a channeler for over 30 years. I assist people in personal and spiritual growth that is in alignment with love's evolution. I'm the author of Love is the Path Home, Spirit Messages for Awakening Your Soul. I also assist people in intuitive development and creating relationships with their healing guides and angels. I'm also the founder of the Angel Healing Club, which is the host for this evening. It's a healing collective that offers a wide variety of healing events that nourishes spiritual growth and global community connections. So we're delighted to be co-hosting today, as I mentioned, with Harold Becker. He's the founder and president of the Love Foundation, and I am so delighted that we have connected. Harold is the author of Unconditional Love, An Unlimited Way of Being, and also Internal Power, 7 Doorways to Self-Discovery, along with several other books. He received his MBA from the University of Tampa in 1988. Harold left the corporate world in 1990 to devote all of his time to understanding the nature of our potential and raising awareness of humanity through his own consulting group, Internal Insights. He founded the Love Foundation as a nonprofit in the year 2000. He continues to share his powerful understanding about life through books, consulting, speaking engagements, PBS television specials, and workshops as he is living from his heart. So let's give a warm welcome to Harold. Yay,
Pleasure to
Harold.
be here and welcome everybody for joining us tonight and helping us share and expand the love around the planet.
Beautiful. Harold, do you want to share with us about Global Love Day and just what you're up to and your inspirations with global healing and
Sure.
community?
Well, as you said, we started Love Foundation in 2000, and our vision mission is inspiring people to love unconditionally, which when we started, it was like, it's a great vision. Now, how do we implement this and how do we bring it out into the world? And it took a couple of years, but the idea of Global Love Day for each May 1st came to me kind of in the end of 2003, and we launched the first one for May 1st of 2004. And we're now in our 18th year of presenting Global Love Day, which is our celebration of our humanity. And our tagline really is Love Begins With Me. So each year we've been broadcasting this out into the world, and it has been just absolutely amazing to see how people from every corner, every nook, every cranny, every culture, basically every nation has found us and found this idea and joined in on it. And it's just been a joy to see how much love is present upon this planet. And through Global Love Day, of course, we're here to kind of expand it. For us, anybody that's participating tonight, love is every day for us, every moment of every day. But when we initially came out with the idea of Global Love Day, we thought for the mass of humanity who is not focusing on love, let's just start with one day. And our greatest compliment for Global Love Day is for people to just simply think and be love for the day. There's nothing you have to do, nothing you have to gather, or have you great when you do if you have events or gatherings, but our real goal is just to get people to contemplate love throughout that day if they've never really contemplated it. And particularly, of course, we're talking about unconditional love. And from that standpoint, from that beginning point, then of course it can grow as an intention in people's individual and then collective lives. And we've certainly seen that over these now 18 years of presenting this each May 1st.
That's so inspiring, just how you've dedicated so much time to the bringing of attention and awareness to love. And I'm just wondering, what are the things that have some of the things that you've seen change over the last number of years that really bring hope for us being able to actualize love
Well,
in
if I
our
can
world?
spin back into the early 90s when I began sharing some of my ideas of very practical, pragmatic understanding of unconditional love. You could give an all-day workshop and people really rallied around the idea, but there were also comments like, don't give up your day job because nobody else is going to want to hear this. So that's early 90s. Fast forward into 2000, 2004, Global Love Day, proclamations from mayors and governors, a lot of fun poking at the idea. It's just kind of a trivial Global Love Day, doesn't mean anything. Come in 2021, we have 750 proclamations as of today for all the years from all the major cities in the United States, some of Canada, England. We have 29 governors have signed proclamations in the states here in the United States. We have over 250 cities that have signed proclamations. All of a sudden, it's not so loosey-goosey etheric. It's got a real practical meaning. And part of it is because we have always promoted Global Love Day as a mutual, universal, collective, timeless understanding. Our wording, like our 6 tenets that make up a proclamation or on a flyer, they really speak to this timeless truth of who we are. And it's been fascinating to be able to present this to a global audience and have the most, in ways unlikely of people, find it. And of course, because it's resonating with their heart, it just makes sense to them. So we know that by making this kind of timeless mainstream message, it becomes very inviting to people. People feel included and they feel like they can participate and they can feel like they can be inspired by this notion of love. So for us, it has been from the early 90s when I started a lot of this, it's been making the awareness of unconditional love part of our dialogue. Because that's really what we miss. I mean, if you go to pick up any radio right now and turn on any kind of music, there's, 95% of those songs are about love, but it's usually heartbreak, separation, and unhappiness love. And we're talking about something that's universal already within us. And for unconditional love, that has been typically relegated in spiritual or religious terms as God or some kind of creator being, or in a very um, mundane human version is our beloved best friend, the dog. And those were the only two purveyors of some kind of unconditional love. And here I am suggesting, as many have over a very long time, that perhaps unconditional love is something that is already innately within us, something we are, and something that when we focus upon it, we can actually expand it. So for us, our goal with the Love Foundation is really to bring the awareness of unconditional love into a universal dialogue for everybody to participate with. And from that dialogue, we can really expand our awareness and our understanding because we go beyond the typical limitations of definition. And we go into more of a sustained feeling of how do I bring unconditional love more prominent in my life? And how can I be more unconditionally loving with the world around me?
I just love that intention. And I mean, that feels like the true unifying force that really is within us. It's that love that we can't put a religion on it or a belief system, but it's just that animating force that is within us that really motivates us in everything that we do, no matter what the outcome or the actions may be. Um, and it feels like the healing aspect is really uncovering that, you know, like acknowledging that, that is such a core part of who we are, and helping to just sort of unveil that, so that we really can experience our unity. How do you suggest that on a daily basis we can have a greater sense of our global connection with each other through that love? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it all becomes a focus of taking our attention from the outside and going within. And that is why my original consulting firm is called Internal Insights, because I realized that one of the things that I had been master's business world, perfect cars, perfect suits, perfect ties, doing everything right, really not happy. And so I started to make those inner questions. And what I had not realized, because nothing had really been taught to me or shown me, is that the difference in my reality is whether I'm paying attention to my inner thoughts and feelings or whether I'm reacting to outer experiences. And up until that time period, I had only ever known to react to outer experiences. I had imagination, I had hopes, dreams, desires, but they really didn't have the weight of understanding that that's where I was creating from. So turning the attention from external to internal meant that I could start to pay attention to my thoughts and feelings. And from there, I could start to explore, what did I think about the world? How did I feel about the world? And over time, the more one does that, the more we begin to realize our own sovereignness, our own magnificence. Clearly, love was a very initial understanding. And of course, that comes down to the simple question is, do you love yourself unconditionally? And that was not a question anybody had ever raised. I adore raising it because it usually freaks people out. Do you love yourself unconditionally? It's such a wonderful question because most of us, I mean, we're talking billions on the planet, have never heard the question, much less contemplated it. And yet in that question is the answers of eternity, because in that question, do I love myself unconditionally? We are giving ourselves our power back. We're recognizing our magnificence. We're realizing that, as I'm speaking right now, as we're all sharing here, our bodies have trillions of cells doing trillions of things, which each of the cells with trillions of atoms. You go out in the cosmos and there are billions of galaxies with billions of stars. It gets big. Well, you start to find out that the same atoms that make up our cells and our body are the same atoms were birthed in stars, galaxies upon galaxies so far away. So clearly we are connected. Again, not something anybody ever taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And that connectedness, we have a tendency to be very earthly. We have a tendency to be very, some of us, very American-centric, Western-centric, and we have a very limited way of looking at life because we don't really open up to expand. So for me, going within was a way to expand my inner world and understand where my magnificence really comes from, that wellspring of love, that wellspring of compassion. That's all from inside going out, not the other way around. Yet again, we're trained to look to the outside for conditional love, even from people that are supposed to be unconditional. And it's only when we begin to embrace ourselves fully, thoroughly, and completely that we really find our own personal power. And from that point, we become a more formidable force because we're more conscious, we're more aware. We've gone in and aligned ourselves to ourselves. And as we move forward, we make a significant difference in the world as a result.
That's so beautiful, Harold, and so true. And it seems like the more we're able to experience that love and our connection with unconditional love for ourselves, it makes it so much easier to see it out in the world around us. And it feels like having that kind of mindset of being open to see the good things in the world, to see where love is flourishing in the many ways that it is happening. You know, it can be easy to focus on the things that aren't doing well in the world, and of course we need to acknowledge those things. But you know, when our eyes and our hearts are open to the good that is happening, we can really create that vision together, or to hold that vision of possibility. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about you, Harold, is how you hold the energy of possibility. And I feel like that's one of the invitations tonight, is to open our hearts and minds to the very real possibility of, you know, manifesting a planet and a humanity that is based in awareness of love, to know that we are completely rooted in that, right? That's what motivates everything that we do, and to ask for that. And that's actually one of the things that I find the most useful in sort of normalizing the relationship with spirit guides and angels, is that they actually model for us how to live from that place of unconditional love. And that's one of the ways that we can connect with them and develop our relationship with them, is just by asking, you know, show me how to see and feel and perceive this situation in myself or in someone else or the world from the eyes of love.
We're taking a step further is recognizing we are walking angels on the planet. So therefore we have the full capacity of everything that our angels are here to guide us with. All they're wanting to do is reflect back to us, remind us who we already are. And it is and has been so suppressed in us over millennia, culturally everywhere on the planet, that our own magnificence has been all but snuffed out. And so when we raise the question or the possibility, the potential or the reminder that we are in fact magnificence, there is a natural tendency for us as humans to shy away from that because we have been so conditioned to believe that we are so less than, that we don't recognize our connectedness to ourselves, and therefore we don't recognize our connectedness to everything. It takes bold, courageous understanding to really go within and embrace the fact that I know there's a before life, just as there is an afterlife and there's a now life, and ultimately they're all one and the same. There is only this moment, and there's only one place where all of this is happening. And what we fail to realize is we are the brilliant creators here. We have all the gifts and all the tools of the cosmos through our thoughts and feelings, through our desires, through our hopes and our dreams. And one of the most pragmatic, practical ways I love to share this, because it can be daunting for many people. How do you change the world? You know, it's impossible because we only see the effects. Those effects are old, they're stale, they're yesterday's thoughts and feelings of a collective. When we come down to real practical sense, for example, everyone here is either sitting, standing somewhere in a room of some type, or in a house, in a building, in a condo, wherever you may be at this moment. Think about it for just a second and realize that the building you are in, the chair you're sitting on, the things that are in the room around you, this technology, before it was the room, before it was the building, what was it? It was materials. It was things from the earth. There was wood and nail and steel and all different types of things that were put together to make that physical building. What was it before that? It was a blueprint. It was an idea. Somebody had the idea to put that building you're in on that spot, might have even been you. But if you go to that fundamental level, you start to realize that our thoughts, with enough desire held with feeling, become the physical manifestation in our linear reality. So when you go back to the original idea, oh, I want a house in this place that someday we'll be sitting in right now, that thought held with a desire became eventually a blueprint, which became all the materials that came together, coalesced, all the people that could make it happen, which built that building you're now sitting in. Same identical idea of how we change this world. We see the world we wish to create, and we use our thoughts and feelings, our imagination, our hopes and our dreams right here and now, the power of our creativity to envision a better world. We don't gaze upon that which is not working. We gaze upon in our mind's eye, in our heart's center, on the things that we know are possible, because we know ultimately the goodness of humanity, because we're all angels. Being the angel healing club, I mean, you have to start from a basic. We're all angels. We're all coming from the same cosmos. We're all coming from the same atomic structure. We're all coming from the same imaginative potential. How can you not be excited about life? It's impossible from that perspective, because all things are possible when you look at it that way. We're creating the same linear platform for material things, the same way we are creating a platform for higher hopes, dreams, possibilities of our humanity. The mechanism works the same in either direction, in either way. So for me, I've always loved this very practical, pragmatic way of looking at it, because it kind of bypasses my logical mind and says, wait a minute, there's lots more to this picture than we've been giving credit to.
Thank you for all those inspirations, Harold. I'm wondering if we might like to have a bit of an experience together. If you would feel at this time to maybe lead us in a little something, and then I could segue from there into a healing guided experience with the angels.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's actually a good segue, because the next part that I would share with this idea, I mean, understanding that our thoughts and our feelings create our reality in linear time. And again, it's kind of like, I thought back in the days when, when I went through college, it was get my associate's degree. Then it was, okay, I can go get my bachelor's degree. Then it was, okay, let me just keep on going. Let me get my master's degree. Well, at the beginning of each of those stages, I mean, I had the idea that I could attain a degree. But I remember very distinctly, each one was a 2 or 3 year commitment or longer, because I was also working full time and going to school full time. So I was making commitment. And there were times where I had to see kind of the end goal of where I was going in order to get to those last moments of actually accomplishing getting the degree. Well, desire on the way we create, some things are very simple. You want a loaf of bread, you go down to the grocery store, you buy a loaf of bread. You can also have the idea of a loaf of bread and somebody brings you a loaf of bread. The material world manifests in many different ways. What is important is the powerhouse of ourselves. We are our own best friends, then we are best friends for everybody around us. So again, the powerhouse is all from within us. I've mentioned the now moment, which is a critical understanding, I would say crucial understanding of this, because yesterday is a thought, it's a memory. Tomorrow is a potential, it's our imagination of what might happen, and we can change how we get there many different times through many little choices. The only moment we really have is this moment right here now, this present moment. And when we're present in this moment, and this is really where I would like to share and lead everyone, is the idea of the common breath. Because we go through most of our lives, maybe many of us that are participating tonight, we meditate, we breathe, we know the power of our breath, but for others that may not, the power of the breath is what centers us. The power of the breath is what is the animation part of our physical body. So in this moment, the breath is our connection to absolutely everything. In fact, when you think about focusing on breath, because we tend not to really pay attention unless we're out of breath, we tend not to really pay attention to our breathing. Well, every time we consciously take a deep breath, you can actually envision that our lungs are giving our heart a hug. So there we are with each breath, those lungs pop up and then they give our heart a sense of a hug. Well, our breath is also the key to our mental, our emotional, and our physical well being, along with our spiritual etheric overlay, that connection to our angelic selves, the totality. So, where it can be a throw off or a cliche, the power of the breath, it's great when we do it in meditation, but if we can remember to breathe, focus attention upon our breath anytime we feel slightly out of sorts, that is the quickest way to ground ourselves back into our body. And it's in this moment in our body where that awareness of breath makes us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually connected. When we focus on our breath, we're not focused on any problems, any duality, any polarity. And when we're focused on our breath, we are open to the fullness of our being. Therefore, we're also open to new ideas, intuition, and solutions. So that's the lead up. That's why the breath is important. The simplest thing is focusing on our breath is something everyone and anyone on this planet has to do on some level and can consciously do on all levels anytime. And where we might want to exclude breathing techniques to our perhaps meditation practices or our moments of downtime, it is in fact very important and very valuable if we can remember to take a deep breath whenever we encounter anything that sets us in kind of a resistance or dissonance to our reality. Because the moment we invoke our breath, the moment we invoke our attention upon our breath, simple act of taking a deep breath brings and fills not only our lungs, brings in that oxygen into the body, but it also releases tension. And in the release of tension, we're releasing resistance. And releasing resistance, we're opening up to the greater aspect of ourselves. So, an extraordinarily simple technique of a single breath can change the outcome for generations. Because in the moment of that single breath, we can make a choice that is so radically different than the energy vibration we were in a moment before that it can change a frown to a smile. It can change a rage to a compassion. It can change anything that is discordant and negative and otherwise creating some kind of discord in a reality to opening up to the pure potential of a new way of looking at it. Changes the vibration. We create a space for a solution that wasn't there in the lower vibrations. So simply just noticing breath, anytime, anywhere, any place, not having any, in this case, I'm suggesting not having any technique associated to it for this purpose, not having any association, definition, expectation, anything that you would want to attribute it to it somehow saving you. Simply go into the pure essence of that breath, being your connection to your totality, being your connection back to your body. Therefore, you're out of your head. You're more centered in your heart because the breath, the heart, the lungs, all the same center. We come more into the center part of our body. And when we do that, we feel our body, we feel the tension release. And in that more, even so slightly more relaxed space, wisdom can permeate that sits there always waiting, but can't enter because we're not allowing. So a simple breath, anytime, anywhere, is the way we bring ourselves from the outer to the inner. And if we don't place any conditions on it, we can allow that breath to be as natural as when we are not focused on our breathing. If you can catch the little bit of an interesting aspect that when we're not paying attention to our breathing, we generally are pretty much flowing. It's only when we catch ourselves tensing up, rising up, or going into some kind of reactionary mode that we can evoke more consciously the power of our breath. And we're talking of a simple breath, a few breaths. We're not talking about deep rhythmic breathing. That can be saved for a time of meditation or technique or any other time that you want to focus more deliberately on breathing. I'm talking about the simple day-to-day walking connection to self that you can do anywhere, anytime, any place. By simply practicing, having intention and practicing, taking that deep good deep breath, 1, 2, 3, however many it feels appropriate, and then moving on. We don't have to sit there and keep doing more and more of it. It's just that simple deep breath. Perhaps one of the most powerful, simple understandings that I ever became aware of, and one that has helped me perhaps the most immensely, because I do understand the power of the breath and the power of uniting myself into my physical, emotional, mental, and total spiritual reality, because it is all one. We just have a tendency to think that it's somehow separate, but our physical, our emotional, and mental, all the same vibrational frequency. The difference is, are we vibrating low frequency, negativity, fear, or are we vibrating high frequency, love and compassion and kindness? And that's a choice that we all have any moment of any day, whether we realize it or not. It is our choice. It's also our storehouse of power, because that's where everything good emanates from. And that's why we're on the planet right now, to be walking, living angels. As I segue right back to you, Patty.
So feeling that high vibration of all of those empowering and activating words that just bring such awakening and enlightenment. So feeling that breath moving through your body and its power to bring you into this present moment, the power of this moment, and that power of choice to bring attention to love. The angels and the guides have been getting very excited as Harold has been speaking and so ready, if you are open and willing and give your permission to them, to assist you in having an even stronger connection with the field of love, that universal presence, knowing that you can ask in any moment to be dialed in to that frequency, to that vibration. Just that simple act of intentional breath, saying, tune me into the love I am that is always available, letting the body relax. And knowing that love is manifesting right now, whatever and whoever you are, whatever you are doing, whatever is happening around you. This is love's expression right now. There's nothing that you need to do or be in order to receive that love. All you need to do is say yes. For you are a pillar, a receptacle of love's evolution. You are a manifestation of love. And this love has its own unfolding through you in your uniqueness. If you like, just saying yes to that now inside of yourself, saying yes to love. And just like seeds being planted around the planet from all of our various locations, we're being watered by love through that invisible field of connection that unifies us. We're being assisted in this moment, if you are open and willing, to strengthen our network, our global network Whether you are here in this moment or listening or watching later on, you are included in this strengthening of this network of care and compassion, of recognition that we're all made of the same stuff. Those molecules that are living in an ocean of universal awareness that we call love, in all of its many expressions. For this moment, we put beliefs aside, forms aside, differences aside, and welcome as if we're holding hands together in this beautiful network as we fill ourselves and each other and surround this planet with a big hug. I love you. I see the love you are. I hear you. I accept you. And we are not alone. We have so much support. All the other angels in human form that are on a similar path, saying yes to love. And all those non-physical beings, whether their loved ones passed, angels, spirit guides, ancestors, watching over us, always available to show us another perspective when we feel small, and to invite us into that largeness, that larger perspective that says, yes, it is possible. It is possible to choose love and to see the good in the planet and in others. Just taking a moment of silence, of receiving, welcoming the nonverbal, intuitive experience. Perhaps there is a message for you here, a message that love would like to whisper into your mind and heart to encourage you on your path, to let you know that you are not alone. We are here together. Or in this moment, this is the mission of the angels, is to let us know that we are not alone, that this evolution is happening, a wave that will not be stopped, and that we can say yes to it, support it by being ourselves. And welcoming love's voice in our mind and hearts. With so much gratitude, so it is. Blessed be. Just feeling your feet, sending some roots down like you're a big tree so that you can grow and anchor this love that you are, for every one of you is important. Every time you overcome something and you choose love, you make a difference in the world. You add to that pool of love. And there's just a big thank you coming right now from the angels for you. So much gratitude for you. Thank you for being here at this time on the planet and being willing to go through this unveiling of the truth of love that is here. That love is here and now. And we are creating global healing, one person at a time, one gathering at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. And you are a part of it. And we're all so grateful. Anything you'd like to share, Harold?
That was fun. I think I'm not grounded yet. I'm still floating.
Yeah, we're all still pretty floaty. That's good. Well, take your time feeling your feet and knowing that this vibration is available anytime, always. It's always there. In fact, that's one of the reasons I wanted to offer a free gift to you tonight of the book that came through me through my guides and angels. I'm giving it away tonight as a free ebook. And I was guided to start giving this book away starting tonight because it truly carries the vibration of love. It's an activator. It's one of those things that you can return to and just read a few lines or a couple paragraphs and remember this vibration. So my friend's going to put the link in the chat in case you want to check that out and receive that. And it also gives, that same link also allows you to have a free class with the Angel Healing Club, which is my love project right now to support all of us in not being alone, to know that we have community and to have ongoing access to healing events and to be able to come together in moments like this to recharge our batteries and to kind of normalize this spirit world and this being able to be living manifestations of love. So it welcomes all kinds of traditions and approaches. There's not necessarily a focus on angels, although the angels are what support us and are protecting us and guiding us, but there's many types. If you're a healer and you would like to offer something through the Angel Healing Club, or if you'd like to have a free class, you're certainly welcome to participate in that. If you're on Facebook Live, I may have to go in afterwards and put the link on after we're done here, so you can go back and look for it. Don't know if we can do that now. We've still got a few minutes left. I'm wondering if either, Harold, do you want to add anything, or if we want to open up for a couple of questions?
No, actually, well, the Love Foundation, I will say that we offer a lot of resources through the Love Foundation website. We have a free app for iOS and Android that kind of keeps you also reminded of love. There really are just so many beautiful resources, and I really appreciate the fact that you're offering your book as a gift to everyone, because I know that on this pathway, we are so embodied in this 3D world that we speak of love, we connect with the love, and it isn't always that easy to remember that we are loved. So a good book, a good line, a good pat on the back, a good smile, these are all the things that help each of us remember our angelic nature, our angelic presence.
there's such a rise of availability. Thank you so much for all that you offer. I know it's such an amazing resource, and I look forward to even more connections with you and the Love Foundation and all that you offer. Um, it's just an amazing time of coming together with so many kinds of offerings, and that we really have this technology that we can join together and really create global community in this way. So
Absolutely.
it's a world of possibilities.
So yes, if anybody has any questions for either one of us, or if you have something you'd like to share, this would be a great time to open up, put it in chat.
Hello? Hello?
Hello,
What's,
yes.
hi, what's happening May 1st? Is there any events or anything? This is the first time I've participated here. I'm friends with Mina. We've been
Okay.
friends for years on Facebook, and she reminds me all the time when I forget. I tend to get political sometimes, and she reminds me that I am love. And yeah, I just keep forgetting, getting caught up in this world. Anyway, what's on for May 1st? Anything?
Well, in all the years leading up to the last two, we had known events, generally gatherings, physical gatherings, but obviously in the last couple of years, things are slightly different. We, the Love Foundation, we're going to actually be live on Facebook during the day for the first time this year ourselves. We're going to have short, brief interviews with board members. We do have an events page on our website, thelovefoundation.com, that has a few known events where people have written to us and shared what they're doing on the day. But of course, so many things last year and this year, for obvious reasons, they're more virtual live Zoom or virtual live FaceTime, whatever it is that connects us with more than ourselves, with the others around us. And those have become more virtual, so we hear less of them because of physical gatherings being a little bit more difficult the last couple of years. So no real strong physical events that we're aware of, but certainly the goal of Global Love Day ultimately is just to share and be loved throughout the day, because you can certainly pick up on that wave of resonance that starts in Mina's time zone out there in Malaysia and rolls its way around Australia, rolls its way Malaysia, comes all the way back around to our other board member who's in Hawaii. She kind of picks up the tail end. So it is kind of a fun day to tune into the energy wave that happens. Uh, since we've done this now 18 years and rolling, we know that there's a built up momentum on this particular day. And just simply thinking and feeling love will automatically place you in connection with it. And you can kind of ride the wave of that higher vibe of love. And of course, if anyone is interested in doing anything, we always love to hear from you. Just write through the website if you have, just small family gathering, or choose to do something and want to send a selfie or a picture afterwards. We love sharing what people do. In fact, you can go to our website. You can see all the previous 17 years, things we've accumulated over the years of events that people have done, both physically, virtually, and even, in the last few years, socially. I mean, Global Love Day is actually on Wikipedia as an event day, as May 1st is Global Love Day. So we actually end up finding May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we see that a lot of ads were written about Global Love Day for commercial purposes, but they're so endearing because they absolutely capture, even in a commercial sense, they capture the universal message. And we just love finding out about it. So I would love to share that we have more obvious events, bands, gatherings, concerts. We're just in unusual times at the moment. So hopefully next year things will be a little brighter and more physically tangible. We can all hug again. My number one thing, I'm ready to hug. I just want to hug.
Thank you for such huge contributions, Harold, and your whole team, for all the many years of creating this space every year and ongoing throughout the year for Global Love Day. And I know I'm looking forward to participating every day, especially May 1st this year and all the coming years. And just so grateful for your sharing today. So I guess we'll go ahead, and I'd just like to do a short little closing blessing, and then we'll be complete for this evening. So much gratitude for every person, both now and in the future, for your dedication and openness to love's evolution through you. Thank you to all the guides, angels, and helpers for your love and support, and for infinite loving source for this opportunity to live and grow on the planet Earth and discover our true nature of love. Thank you, and so it is. Blessed be.